Welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me, as always, is Ben Slinger.
That's right. I'm here. Hello. Welcome to the show.
What have you been doing today, Ben?
I think we're just going to go into some click pitch because we've been, enjoying that lately.
I think we're going to say right up front that these next few episodes are going to be a little bit shorter than usual.
Yep.
We are working on something in the background, and we're just making these episodes just a little bit shorter, half an hour to 45 minutes, just so that we've got time to work on some other things.
That's right. We have some new projects, some new ideas in the works.
So yes, for the next few weeks, maybe even till episode 300, we will be running a little bit shorter than usual.
Yes. Unofficial bit drizzles.
Yes. Unofficial bit drizzles.
You don't get the full storm.
Yes. Okay, so Click Pitch is a game where we each have a random word generator in front of us. On the count of 3, 2, 1, click, we're going to click our little button, get our couple of words, throw them at each other, smash them together, create a game design.
Yeah.
For about half an hour, 45 minutes.
As we've done hundreds of times before.
Hundreds.
Let's do it.
Fortunate gutter.
Ooh. Ample waking.
So, gutter. I'm thinking bowling.
Okay, I was going to say someone waking up in the gutter. Could be someone waking up in the bowling gutter.
Yeah. With a bowling ball having hit their head.
Well, this could be a good setup. I'm almost picturing like a Stardew Valley-esque sort of thing, except you wake up in a rundown bowling alley.
Okay.
And you're fixing it up.
Mm.
The owner isn't making money on it anymore. They're getting old. They find you. Yeah, to tell you that they found you in the gutter. You don't remember anything, but if you want to fix up the place, then it's all yours.
Okay, and so obviously to get the lanes working better, you need good quality oil. You need enough pins to actually go into the pin setter and do more than one lane.
Yeah, you might need a few gears and cogs and things to make the pin setter work properly.
The ball return, needs some belts and all this sort of stuff.
Yep. So how do you then go about crafting this stuff? Do you have to find blueprints for it first? You maybe don't know how to, what you need to start with?
I think going with, the idea that you said about Stardew Valley, I do like the idea of just going a little bit fantastical with it. So you can, out the back, you can plant a pin and you create a pin bush, and you can get new fresh pins off the pin bush.
I do like the idea of just plucking bowling pins off of a tree.
Yeah, and that's obviously where bowling pins come from.
Yeah, and the bowling balls are root vegetables.
Yes. So they grow on vines, but they grow
pumpkins. Yeah. Pumpkins or watermelons or something. Okay, so you're essentially gardening and building the necessary things to revamp your bowling alley.
Yeah,
that's cool. And so maybe then you start getting your regulars in, and this is where we sort of bring in some of the relationships with different people in town. And
yeah, and obviously when you first start, it's sort of some of the lanes are run down, have got holes in them. Bowling shoes. Where are you going to get them from? You got to plant lots of bowling shoe plants as well, so that you can make sure that you have them nice and fresh. And
yeah, well, and I think, to a certain degree, I think we can still add in some crafting to kind of add some steps in there. So
yeah, you got to add a sole. You got to add a sole to the shoe, and the sole is
the laces are some sort of flower from a certain tree.
Yeah.
Almost like a weeping willow or something, that the leaves are these long shoelaces.
Yeah, and you got to get little plastic caps and put them on the ends, otherwise, they unravel.
Yep.
Yep.
So while this is happening, you start off and you've got this rundown place. Are people coming in and still playing? If they just don't pay as much, or you can't put the prices up because
I kind of like the idea that
they're not happy with the quality.
You got like one team that plays League, and they literally they come in and they play a game, but they're the only people that actually come in, and they play on the one lane that you've got
that's still semi-functional. It's got a couple of potholes in it, but they're good enough that they can go around them. Yeah. Doesn't stop them from getting their strikes.
Although there is one character, and he plays in the League, and he creates more potholes, because what he does is as he sort of swings his arm down, he stops right around the leg, and the ball just goes flying out through the air, nearly hitting the roof and landing down on the alley. Yeah,
seems like a ridiculous way to bowl.
Yeah,
if you ask me.
It doesn't sound like anything that either one of us.
I've never seen anybody else while watching other people bowl, I've never seen anybody do that. So,
whereas I've seen someone do that,
and you and I have been bowling a lot, so that's really weird. I do. I do like that idea though of the wear and tear on the lanes being based on the stats or the styles of the different bowlers. So you do have to be a bit strategic about who you assign to which lane at different points. It's like, oh shit, if I put, hardball Jimmy on lane 3, it's going to be fucked forever because I haven't got around to reinforcing it yet, and it's just going to get more and more damage. But you have to put him somewhere.
But of course, if you manage to get a softball onto him, and it's sort of got that rubbery.
Oh, you can change up the ball.
Because you said he was a hardball Jimmy, so what if you make him softball Jimmy?
I mean, maybe there's a conversation tree that gets him to change his ways.
Or he gets hit in the head too many times with a hard ball. He realises that maybe a softball would be better. And as per baseball rules, softball is just a little bit bigger.
But no, I like those sort of little character interactions and stuff, right? Like particular characters with particular sort of little different conversations you have with each of them.
Okay, so that's the start of the game. Yeah. As you go through and as you start improving the services that you provide, you have to hire some more people because obviously you now need to run the refreshment stand, and you now need someone to service the arcade games, and because the kids, the only way that they're going to come in is if they can win lots of tokens and spend all their hard-earned money.
Yeah, and you got to grow the tokens as well, of course. It's like berries on a blueberry tree. All the little tokens, you have to pick them off. And
I don't know. I see this as not quite a 2D thing like Stardew Valley, but maybe a that hybrid 2.5D sort of thing of you've got the 3D characters on a 3D background, but it's from a single
fixed camera
angle.
Yeah.
There's just something about that just I don't know, I like it. I almost want to see some Mii's, as in MIIs, from the
Wii.
From Wii. Every now and again just come in and they're just they're just sort of floating there and they just bowl and
I mean, with Wii bowling being such a big thing, maybe we can get the Nintendo tie-in.
Yeah. Maybe this is a Switch exclusive.
Yeah, could be. And then you get to play on your lanes in a Wii bowling style.
There's that extra bowling minigame. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
I like it. I like it a lot.
All right. 3, 2, 1, click. Long here.
Clinical portability.
Okay. So, this is cool. Long here made me think of being frozen in time, right? Because we're here, but it's long. The long here as almost a phrase for meaning this moment frozen in time. And then clinical portability makes me think of some sort of portable time bubble thing, freezing in time. And maybe it is used for surgeries and things, or for or even battlefield medic in the future or something. They can put up this time bubble so that they can fix someone up, sew someone up without being
basically
shot or,
in between their heart beating 1 second and their heart beating the next second. It's sort of it's that one moment in time that is frozen. But it also means that if you've made a big mistake in your surgical thing, you've got ample time to fix it. But you don't know whether you've plugged all the leaks until you until you restart it. And then if it starts spraying like a sprinkler, you know you're fucked.
Okay, so you're saying the person that you're working on is not affected as such by the time thing, in that you can move as much as you want.
They can't.
Okay, that's cool.
Because what I like about that is it then, it means that you can work on them without fear of, them bleeding out and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Although, having said that, that is a cool mechanic. That could be an interesting mechanic, and you could use it in some levels. It could also be interesting just that the time bubble or the device doesn't freeze you, or doesn't freeze the moment stock still. It slows it down so far, and so you've got a meter which is how long until their next heartbeat. And when that happens, and it could be a little bit stylized or whatever, but it's they had a heartbeat, and you see you see a spray of blood. It's oh shit, missed that spot. All right, and their health level goes down. Because I'm almost thinking a bit of trauma center or something, that sort of gamey kind of surgery scene.
Oh yeah, I mean, I still remember the first time I ever played Trauma Center Under the Knife or whatever it was called, and it was on the Wii, and it's oh yeah, you're doing all this stuff.
Oh god, on the Wii, yeah.
And you're getting through, and then all of a sudden it's oh yeah, I've saved this guy. And then all this glass starts erupting out of his skin out of nowhere, and it's oh my god, he's totally fucked. It's take it out, disinfect and all this sort of stuff. And it was so exciting, going through all these different.
Yeah. Well, I'm picturing this then, because you could do a really cool thing where, because obviously I'm thinking of this as a full 3D. You're on a battlefield, whether it's a futuristic battlefield, perhaps. You're on the front lines. You see someone go down. You have to run over, freeze them. There might be another fucking bullet flying through the air after them, or aiming at you or whatever. That's sitting there while you're operating on them, and you're having to watch this happen and just work as fast as you can.
And thing is, it's Hamilton style that you actually see the person tracking the bullet.
You see someone holding it. Maybe you've got some metaphorical vision mode or something.
Yeah, what I think is this is people realize that if you do this holding pattern sort of thing, and someone's fired a bullet, you can't quite see, so they use a holographic person, a la your Hamilton style thing, so that you know where the bullet is at all times.
You've just got Hamilton on the brain because you saw it last week.
And you're going to see it this week.
And I'm going to see it this week. Yes.
It may be on my brain. But I still like that idea. Okay, so I'm going to say 2 words or 2 letters that is going to make this game all the better. VR. Just because...
Yeah, I agree, actually. This could be really cool in VR.
Just because Trauma Center gamified, not Surgeon Simulator silly.
No.
More
precision.
Precision, but in an arcadey sort of way.
Yeah. you see, the paths that you have to cut, and you get scored essentially on how accurately you do it. You've got you're doing your sutures, you're pulling things out, with the grain essentially. And I'm sure we can think of other, through development. I'm just come up with other ways to do it.
You've frozen,
in VR.
And it's like, okay, we've got another heartbeat coming up, and you see the little thing go, and it's like, it starts
just seeing
rising,
it rise and
as it hits the top, that's when you see
the blood splurt out. Yeah, there must be a surgeon game in VR by now.
That isn't Surgeon Simulator.
There's just Surgeon Simulator. Surgeon
Simulator's in VR.
I guess I meant like a
proper trauma center
one. Yeah, there's a game called Surgera, and there is something called I don't know what that is. Surgery Quest. That looks terrible. That's a proof of concept. I'm just surprised. I mean, I guess Surgeon Simulator is the go-to one now, but yeah, that's so silly. I didn't actually like Surgeon Simulator 2. I didn't really play the first one that much either, to be honest.
Look, I like the idea of it, but I also kind of think, if I'm going to do this sort of stuff, then I want it to...
It just gets too frustrating. So much of it is based around the lack of control over the physics and over the different things. I want a surgeon game where it is about precision, it's about skill, and you can do well at it by doing well.
What I love about this time stop ability is that it gives you that time.
Yeah.
Even when you fuck up, you cut this person in half,
you've got a way to get back.
You've got a way to get back because you can,
you can bring a fucking bone graft laser.
You can sew these things back together, and it's the future too. So. The veins back together, and seal it with a laser, and I'm just imagining just being able to do brain surgery with a laser and just cut a little tumor out, and then you have to pick it up with the tweezers.
So what other situations? So we're talking about the front lines of a war, and that's fine. Except you're mostly going to have bullet wounds and debris from explosions and stuff. How can we then bring in other types of things that we could do? Do you have to end up performing cancer removal, trying to get the cancer out of the general or something, or someone who's high up?
Why not? And just general surgery things the major's got appendicitis, so you've got to get in there and take out that inflamed appendage.
And I feel like this sort of game would then have some sort of new affliction that adds pressure or adds a time. So even though you're in the time bubble,
time rot,
it runs so time right. Time rot.
Yeah, I'm thinking time rot is one of those things that if you leave them in for too long, the parts within the bubble, they get a little bit, there could be some parts of the body outside the bubble, and therefore they're not getting the blood through, and you've got that sort of time pressure of
that could be interesting.
And even then, it could turn out that people who have spent all this time within the bubble, as in the medics, could actually be under a bit of pressure themselves in the fact that
you could add barriers there as well, that you've been in too many time bubbles, you're starting to get out of sync, or see things that aren't there, or whatever.
Like a Hamilton bullet time thing.
That's why the people are there. You're hallucinating things to do
when you start the game world. And you're going through the tutorial of the game, which is literally it's just your first surgery for the day. It's a nice simple one of I'm thinking that it's you got
flesh wound,
you got a wake up call, and your tutorial is not on the battlefield. It's the general needs,
plastic surgery.
Well,
I want bigger lips. I don't feel like my lips are plump enough.
So you gotta like use a laser to cut the lips right open and then just fill it full of like peanut packaging.
Do my ass while you're in there. I want buns.
And you don't get none unless you've got buns, hon.
Exactly. Give me a big old carriage.
'Cause I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
I like big butts, and you can stop time, so put some stuff in my butt. I only had the first line.
What is there anything else that we can add to this? I mean, I'm seeing, even though we've said VR, I'm thinking simplified, sort of like not hyper realistic graphics.
No, I don't think it's hyper realistic. I think it's stylized,
cartoony.
It's fucking Animal Crossing style. It's like uber cartoony, chibi style. No, I think
fuckloads of blood.
And I mean, I had kind of an anime style in mind, even though that's not what I tend towards, just because of Trauma Center. I don't know if you'd necessarily go that like full on classic anime style. I feel like that doesn't work well in VR anyway, because often it works so much better in 2D. And I know there's lots of techniques for making it work well in 3D, but no, I think just stylized 3D,
which comes back to cell shading and that sort of stuff. Which,
and I mean,
cell shading is so hard to get working. I don't know why.
I mean, it doesn't have to be actual cell shading, or we can just do a simpler 3D style, you know. But yeah, we'll leave it up to our art director.
Awesome. Bill will love that, so let's leave it with Bill.
Our art director?
Yeah.
Good old Bill.
He's been with us since day one. We never really talk about him because
we haven't released any of his work because we just keep every week. We've got new ideas. We can never finish anything.
Sorry, Bill. Maybe we'll get to him one day.
Yeah, we pay him well. It's fine. He's comfy.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
Allowed superiority.
Web overhead.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, I'm kind of thinking overhead and superiority, our spider overlords.
Yeah, well, spider, obviously, Web brought me to spider.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's think of this world where spiders have become our overlords. Are these alien spiders of some, like, spider-like, sentient spider-like aliens, or are they our Earth spiders who have somehow...
I think this is a multiverse where spiders just happen to develop psychic powers and become the dominant species on the planet. And we are the servants to our spider overlords. And they did
we
happen
being
to
humans.
We being humans, yeah.
Okay. So they're evil because they obviously, keep slaves, humans as slaves.
No, they're not.
Treat us like dirt.
They're not evil. We just know that if they wanted to, because they're higher on the food chain, they could eat us.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if they know we're sentient and they're enslaving us, then they're essentially an evil civilization. So,
is humankind evil? Because we enslave pets and cats and dogs, and because that's what we are to them.
Well, I don't think you could go quite that far of giving them that level of sentience.
As far as they're concerned, they are at the top of the food chain because there are billions of them.
The point is that pets do not have concerns in that way. Anyway, we're not arguing about the morality of domestication versus slavery of sentient creatures. Are humans in this... Are they treated then, though, as domesticated animals? I mean, and this is,
they have autonomy.
That's not actually any better, but
they have autonomy. They can go to work and they can do things. It's just that the choices that are made for the good of the planet are not made by humans.
It's not making it any better. It's essentially spider supremacy over other races. Okay. I'm fine with this as long as we're fighting back against them in some way. Like, I don't want this game to just accept that one race has superiority over another and that's okay. Like, the game needs to have an opinion on this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which is that this structure, a systemic problem.
Okay, so your character wears a tinfoil hat, which protects them from the, the fact that these spiders are psychic and can actually,
So when you say psychic, you say
as
mind
in
control.
mind control. Well,
Okay.
not mind control, but mind suggestion. Like, they can suggest that maybe you don't want to walk into the web and maybe you want to, catch that fly and sort of usher it in towards the web.
The whole thing is just they convince people to, herd flies into their webs. They've just got millions of people just with fucking fly swatters on.
And they reward them with oxytocin.
They just pump
and
happy drugs
orgasms
directly into their brain. They just give them orgasms. Psychic orgasms from spiders. Psychic spider
They're the
orgasm.
best.
There's the episode title.
Do you want to click again?
No, I want to bring down the Spiderarchy.
The Spiderarchy,
the Arachniarchy.
Oh, and crabs, which are also arachnids, I believe. 8-legged ones anyway. Scorpions. Okay, scorpions.
Let's go scorpions.
Scorpions, and especially
Just
the one that says, "Get over here."
Just empaths?
Yeah. They're just lovely. They're really great, and they're actually helping the humans overthrow the spiders because they don't like them, mainly because the webs just creep them out because it's coming out of their butt.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why they.
Butts are meant for stingers.
Yes,
not webs.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the problematic areas aside.
Yeah.
From a gameplay perspective, I do like the idea of fucking ziplining down webs and
it's just a platform game.
Killing big spiders.
It's a platform game.
Yeah, or like an action adventure sort of thing. I'm picturing with makeshift.
The 2D or 3D? Because I was picturing
3D.
this. Okay, 3D.
I was picturing 3D.
Okay,
I'm picturing this as like a big world. You're seeing like cities in the distance with just webs like between all the buildings and stuff, and your
billboards with like "Get your web cleaner here," and
web conditioner, spinneret, sharpeners. I don't know, sharpeners. Spinneret bidets. But you've got your makeshift weapons that are like all scorpion-like because the scorpions are technologically advanced and help you build them.
Very much so.
And shooting out, venom and acid to kill these
and
spiders. Yeah.
And when the spiders ask you what you're doing, you say, "Oh, I've got castanets," and I just practice my flamenco.
Weakness.
And
it's the spiders' one weakness. They have to watch
flamenco.
Flamenco dance. You just got the flamenco button. If you hold down the right trigger while you run, you flamenco there instead.
Yeah, there's some chasses. There's some.
Yeah, Trevor's got all the terms. He knows.
Yeah. So yeah, I reckon that's awesome. Like the way that this actually continues on, and obviously right at the end, you know, the scorpions get their way, and the spiders are, you know, sort of have their psychic powers dulled down.
Yeah. I think the scorpions help you create some sort of technology that floods the world with psychic frequencies that
cancel out. Yeah.
That cancel out, or like the kind of like white noise that block it all out to prevent them from transmitting. And then humans get their civil rights, become equal citizens to arachnids, and the Arachniarchy falls.
But because they are sentient, and we know that now.
I mean, we still have to treat them with, humanely.
So therefore, like we create a joint council of like arachnid, and like there's like a Supreme Court that has, you know, part spider, part scorpion, part human, like judges. Like there's equal amounts, and they can all.
As long as they don't get hijacked by fifth leg. I'm trying to think what the right wing is for spiders.
I mean,
we're not going too deep into
humans are fucking bad. Like they need to be like kept down a little bit more than.
We just need to ensure there's accountability for all. Yes.
We can't finish there. Let's go.
One more.
Nice and quick.
One more quick one.
We'll go a little bit quicker. Robust mill.
Accessible mummy.
Okay.
Sorry, you said mill, and I had mummy on my screen, and I just in my head added an oof to mill.
Yeah.
Which is a horrible term, MILF, but
mummy, I'd like to fuck.
Especially with accessible in there. My mind definitely went to a Egypt's mummy-based porn game. So I don't think we can end there either. So let's we won't have to click again necessarily, but
3, 2, 1, click. Cool sect.
Cool sect. Unlucky continent.
Okay, I'm going to say
sect.
rather than sect, it's going to be sector, as in cool sector.
Okay, just so we're not getting into like weird culty stuff.
Yeah,
that's fine. So, unlucky continent and the cool sector of the unlucky continent.
Yeah,
is this a continent? I don't know if it was like populated by teenagers or high schoolers, or they just all act like high school. Like I'm picturing the different sectors of this continent being the different cliques in high school.
I mean,
so you've got like Gothland, nerddom.
If I thought of the most unlucky like continent, that would have to be Antarctica, and it is pretty cool down there. Like,
okay.
So
you're just saying we just set something on Antarctica?
And it's a cool sector. So it's the coolest of the cool in the fact that clicky terms, you know, you've got pretty much all these people around the South Pole, and you're in the cool side of things, and you're about to host like the best mixer.
No idea where you're going with this. All right, let me take it to a different direction based on that. It's the North Pole. And we're talking elves and the different cliques in Santa's elves, and you're trying to get into the cool group. They get all the best jobs.
But it's not a continent.
Well, I mean, it's close enough.
The reason why I was saying about like
it's
hosting a mixer and all this sort of stuff, I was sort of thinking, you know, how in the Thing, there's like the different research bases around and all this sort of stuff, and they all get attacked by the Thing. What if they were all pretty close to each other, all owned by different companies, but they just hosted a mixer to try and like get all the companies in together to because They're all under a similar sort of situation.
All right, let's... okay, and I'm just jumping off this and shifting it slightly. You're at a dinner party.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a dinner party vibe. It is still what you're saying. It's like different companies, different people from these different Arctic stations.
Research stations, yep.
And there is it's a tense, The Thing-like thriller where you're trying to figure out whether it's an alien or whether it's just like there's some sort of saboteur or there's someone who is working against everyone else. And so it's this like dialogue-driven, emotion-driven game where you're trying to figure that out. Yeah,
and tempers are fueled and, lights aren't going too well because, they're flickering a bit and...
Yeah. And one of the people is a goth. Because, like...
Oh, so bad.
I mean,
they just keep on talking about My Chemical Romance. It's like...
Yeah. And they are a chemist themselves.
Yes.
Like, that's why they're there.
They think it's funny.
Like, it's how they got into chemistry. Like, they'd like to say that they have an actual romance with chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when they brought out the hydrogen peroxide and, started making out with it, it got a bit weird.
Yeah, well, that's just like they use that as a bit of prop comedy for the joke to sell the joke. It's really awkward. Everyone hates it.
But that's just hiding the fact that they really want everyone to like them.
It is Chekhov's hydrogen peroxide though, because it does come up later that you have to use that to like prove whether or not you've chosen the right person. Because
it turns out that hydrogen peroxide, it just putting onto the skin, this person, this thing, is allergic to it.
Yeah. Yeah. They actually grow lots of hair if they get exposed to hydrogen peroxide.
But that's literally all that happens. Like, there's no weird alien thing about it. It's just that they've got an allergic reaction to it. Like,
yeah. And when I say lots of hair, I mean like Fabio locks.
Yeah, just straight out of the arm, like
out of the arm, or out of wherever it's poured. There is a mini game where you just get to like choose where to pour.
And at the end, they just look like Cousin Knit from the Addams Family, and yeah.
Well, that's it, because you somehow convince them to go and try and bleach their hair. You're like, you look really good, blonde.
And is it a point-and-click adventure sort of thing with dialogue puzzles and stuff?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You've got a few different rooms. You've got people in different rooms who are having conversations you can join in on, and relationships shift across the course of the game.
Cool. Well, that's about all the time that we have for tonight.
That's it. We're going to finish up there. So, if you'd like to find our previous episodes, go to podchaser.com/bitstorm and check them all out. Most of them are longer than this one.
Except for some at the start where we put bit drizzle on them and yeah.
Yeah. We've done short ones before, but for the most part, they're about an hour long. Check them out. There's plenty of games in there. If you're a prospective game developer trying to figure out what should I build next, go and listen to some. There's actually some really good ideas in there. And let us know if you do, because we'd love to see them come to life.
And if you like the music that we play at the start and end of each of our episodes, that song is called Mount Defiance. It's off the album Containment Failure by the band Kuradust. Go to kuradust.bandcamp.com and you'll find that album and a few others there.
That's right. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott. I, for one, would like to say that I admire our spider overlords, and I will, of course, do anything they say.
Put your tinfoil hat on, Trevor. You're being influenced. Fuck the arachnids. fuck the arachnids.